focus on the slide with criteria and make it bigger. And now, can you see the slide?
Yes.
Okay. Well, so as for the my opinion about the presentation, so what I like in the presentation is that you give definitions to the body language, eye contact, all kind of things. So the speakers try to speak, not just read from the slides. Well, but you mostly follow what is given on the slide. So, and the illustrations at the beginning of the presentation, they were relevant. So they were just connected to the text. But at the last slide, so you were speaking and the presentations were like the illustrations, the pictures didn't so what you were speaking was not is not connected with what is given on the illustrations, and so there is too much text. You should have divided it into more slides, and just you should divide, you should just choose the key phrase, the key words in each sentence and put them on the slide, not the whole sentence, and just like in bullet points, mark the key phrases with the bullet points, and it will be easier for the audience to understand what you are speaking about than just to follow your so you are speaking, Abdelrahman. Okay, and well, the text should be bigger. I mean, the font of the letters should be bigger to make it more visible. And yes, there were some words that you didn't know how to pronounce, how to read. That means that you don't know, that you do not understand what you are speaking about. You should just then spend more time just doing your home assignment, just to consult the dictionary, how to pronounce the word. And you should predict that the audience also might have their problems with understanding some difficult phrases, and you should adapt the text to the audience. You should simplify it, use like synonyms, or just avoid so the complicated constructions, words, phrases. So this is my opinion about your presentation. Well, so, and the presentation is like text and pictures. There should be more pictures, as you see, just to make it more eye-catching, more attractive to the listeners. Okay, thank you. So let us focus on the second group and the second project.
Yes, doctor. The second project for Bakhtawar and Susan and Abdurrahman. I guess there is no one. It's actually only Bakhtawar. And yes, Abdurrahman here. So this is the second project for these classmates.
Susan is just couldn't take part in the project, right?
I don't know. I think you can ask Bakhtawar.
So Bakhtawar, who are the people who took part in the preparation of the project?
Doctor, actually, I with Susan make it the slides, but she is not present now. I don't know why. But in the beginning, I messaged to the Abdurrahman, but I didn't receive any response. And
So,
he,
just a minute, am I right? So Susan also has taken part in the preparation of the presentation, right?
she did, but now she is not present.
I see. And Abdel Rahman, you mean Abdel Rahman?
She didn't. He didn't.
He didn't take part. Abdel Rahman, are you here? So I remember that he was just joining the group now. Let us, just a minute. Abdel Rahman Ahmad Talak Bani Khaled. Hello. No reply. So, well, and so it means that you are the only person who is going to speak about patient-centered approach, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the same, please, the other students listen to the presentation and be ready to say some words about, to evaluate the presentation. And I'll give you the right to share the screen. Start, please, Bakhtar.
Okay, doctor. Can you see, doctor?
Yes, I can.
Mhm. Mm. Okay, I am going to talk about the what does a patient-centered approach in the history taking, and in this presentation, we try to discuss about the patient-centered approach, plan, importance, and also about the patient history taking. And nowadays, the doctors in the health center, they try to train or educate the patients about their condition and also about encouraging creation and collaboration, discuss how the condition affect the patient emotionally, which is very important for the patients. If the doctors help the patients to be emotionally active and active, they help them to become better person. And also in the patient center, they focus on the patient's satisfactions at adherence and also treatment of the patient. And why the patient-centered approach is important? Because the patient-centered approach can be defined as a providing care that is respectful of and respectful and responsive to the individual patient's preference, need, value, and ensuring. The patient-centered care plans are the health system's mission, visions, value, leadership, and quality improvement. And also the care is collaborative, coordinated, and accessible. And also the care focuses on the physical comfort as well as emotional well-being. About the patient history taking, it is very important, and it is a skill that is necessary for the examinations about the patients, and the doctor should know about the patient's history before starting the treating him or her. And what should included in the patient's history? The personal health story and the family health story, because the personal is very important that the doctor know about their their situation, and also the personal, because every people receive the genes from their parents, and there are some genes that is not this some diseases that are not this appeared in her parents, but it may be appear in her children's. And what is important in the patient's taking history, the history taking is an important skill, and it is provides the sufficient information about the 75 persons, because it is very important if the patients go to the other centers and choose their about personal history taking, and they can give all the information about the patients from her history taking report. And also why it is important for the diagnosis, because as I said before, there are some diseases that is not appeared in her parents, but it is some genes responsible for that diseases, and the doctor should be aware. For example, a man has cancer, but her father, mother doesn't have, but her grandfather and grandmother maybe have the cancers, and because of that the doctor should be aware of the patient's parents. And also this presentation is worked by me and Susan.
So have you finished?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, good. Thank you. Well, and if we go to the criteria. Who would like to say some words about the presentation?
I think it's good. She is actually explain everything in some slides. It's a little words, but it's enough information, I guess.
Mhm. Okay. What's your name?
Yara.
Yara. Okay, Yara. Thank you, Yara. Well, anyone else would like to say something?
Yes, it was delivered so good. I understood everything she talked about, and I really liked it.
I see. Your name?
Amrullah.
Mhm. Thank you, ladies. Well, so what I think of the presentation, I like it because the design was good, rather attractive, and you give what I like, the outline at the beginning of the presentation. So it's rather informative. And so we've learned something new from the presentation, and the speaker is rather Bakhtavar is rather speaking. She's not just reading from the slides, and uses just some examples. And you can see that the presentation lacks pictures, so there should be some illustrations, some diagrams, and I know that there are a lot of diagrams so that describe this patient-centered approach. You can easily find it on the internet. So this is not the radio program. I mean, as far as the eyes are involved in this process, we should just give some food to our eyes so that we can understand and remember the information better. So next time, please don't forget about pictures. Well, so, and Bakhtavar, I have a question.
Yes.
How much has Susan really done anything in the presentation, or you just put the name to the slide? how many percent of the presentation was done by Susan?
Doctor, she actually make the slides and I find the information because she is now in Almaty and we are in Van Dorm.
So did she take part
But she has some.
in the presentation like 50% of the material and the presentation?
Yes, doctor.
I see. Mhm. Okay. Okay, thank you. Now let us move to so the next.
Yes, it's Rula and Ru'a and Yara, the third project.
Yara and Roa.
Yes,
I see, and
Rula going to share her screen.
mhm. Oh. So we do it now.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, but you can make it bigger.
Yes. Is it full slide now? Is it full now?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So we are going today to talk about Calgary-Cambridge model. So first of all, Ru are going to start to talk about what's the Calgary-Cambridge model, and then I'm going to talk why is Cambridge model is good, and in the end, Rula going to talk about how does the Calgary-Cambridge model work. So let's start with Rua.
What is a Calgary-Cambridge model? The Calgary-Cambridge-Guide (CCG) is a well-known approach to teaching and training clinical communication skills. However, during teaching sessions, it has been used as a guide to assess the specific communication skills performed and to provide systematic and structured feedback. There are many consultation models, but one that can be applied to most clinical settings is the Calgary-Cambridge Guide developed by Silverman et al. 2004. And the Calgary-Cambridge model, it is a model of the veterinary consultation developed by NUFACS and meant to help students learn communication skills by adding the relative process. And the Calgary-Cambridge model, it is for good communication. For
Rua?
good communication, can you hear me?
No,
Yes.
yes.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. The Calgary-Cambridge model for good communication skills in clinical in current. And now I will talk about the 6 main points for Calgary-Cambridge. The one, enchanting consultation. This is introduce yourself and use patient's name correctly. The next two, gathering information. Gathering information is using open questions. Use active listening to understand what it is like. 3, providing structure to convolution. This is signposting and summarizing. The next, 4, building a relationship. It is non-verbal language. And 5, explanation and planning. It is joint decisions making. And the final 6, closing the consultation. It is summarized and planning for next time. And the 2 strategies the Calgary-Cambridge system teaches us, it is signposting and summarizing. The benefit to sign posting, patient knows where you are going and why. Cooperation, moving on. And the benefit of summarizing, it is for you confirmation on if enough given, and allows to process truths and organized ideas. For patients, the patient will know you have been listening and correct anything that you might have measured. Another allows patient time to think. And now Yara will talk about the benefit.
Yes. Why is Calgary-Cambridge model is good? So while there is no ideal model, the Calgary-Cambridge and Niagara model seem to be the most practical and patient-centered approach. They promote shared this and a doctor-patient partnership, and which sits comfortably with modern-day primary care's ideals of choice and transparency. The Calgary Cambridge model is practical, giving us tasks to complete it. It's also practical, incorporating physical, physiological, and social factors. The model may help trends with the assessment, as it shares many features with the consolation tool, CO2 making schemes. And the main purpose is the consolation model provide potentially structure for the complex interaction that occur between patient and doctor. So we can say about this, while no perfect model exists, the Calgary, Cambridge, and Niagara models appear to the most practical and patient-centered, and they shared agents and doctor-patient collaborations, which elegance will with today's primary care concept of choice and transparency. So it's since it's assigned to it to us, it's also structural, meaning it takes into account physical and physiological, as we said, and social elements, because it has many elements with the constellation observation tool. When was the Calgary Cambridge model developed? It was introduced by Courts and Silverman in 1996 to define the communication curriculum and to develop a feasible teaching method.
Okay, how does the Calgary Cambridge model work? So this model looks at the process of constellation from initiating the session, gathering information, providing structure to the constellation, building a relationship, giving information by explanation and planning, and finally closing the session. So this model examines the constellation progress from beginning to end. It includes obtaining the information, establishing the structure, and building a connection with the patient, and also imparting information through explanation and planning, and conducting the session finally. So first of all, providing structure, it's to make it's making organization and attending to flow. Initiating the session is to prepare, establish initiation report, and to identify the reasons for constellation. Gathering information is to explore of the patient's problem to discover the biomedical perspective, the patient's perspective, and the background information. And then the physical examination is where they physically examine the patient, and explanation and planning is providing the correct type amount of information and aiding accurate recall and understanding, and also achieving assured understanding, and cooperating the patient's illness framework, and planning assured decision making. And finally, closing the session is ensuring appropriate point of closure and forward planning. And building the relationship is by using appropriate non-verbal behavior, and developing a report, and also involving the patient with the sessions. Thank you so much for listening. This presentation was done by Ru'a, Yara, and Rula.
Okay, thank you, ladies. Well, and so let us listen someone for the feedback. Who would like to say? Yes, Abdallah, please.
Okay, they did a good job, and the division of the role was good in the show, and I like the design of the presentation, and also I got the main idea that they're talking about.
Mhm. Okay. Okay.
And I said feedback about our presentation.
Okay, so you're welcome.
So I think the design is so cute. And to be honest, the design made by Rula, she's perfect in this situation. So thank you, Rula. And I think we not just only read, we read and then explain everything we want to
Yeah.
said. So the idea, I think, delivered to all the student. So I like our presentation. It's so good, I think.
Yes, okay. So you should pray yourself first. Yes. I mean, so the design, yes, it was like girlish, yes, so it's very cute. And so as for my opinion about the presentation, so I like that at the beginning you just showed the table of contents. This is like the outline. It shows who is going to speak about what. And you follow this outline. And I agree that you were speaking, not just reading from the slides. It means that you understand what you are speaking about. The illustrations are great. Just yes, we can say that they're somewhere relevant to the text. I would recommend to work more with the text, just divide it into chunks, and I've already said use the key phrases, just not the whole sentences. And it looks like on some slides the information is repeated. It means that you worked separately. Maybe when you have collected all the slides together, you should have checked it one more time, not to repeat the same ideas. And I also like that you use the diagram. And you explained what is given in the diagram, and it was it helped us to understand the idea. So thank you so much. So ladies, well, and yes, it's just very important to know that the students can just prepare such excellent presentations. Well, now let us focus. Yes, we have some time. Let us focus on the course book now. Here, I've already said that we'll speak about the jobs related to the medical jobs, the people who work for a hospital. And now on this slide, you can see some people working in general practice. There are 4 pictures that represent these jobs. And the question, can you predict what each person's job involves? If, for example, we have a look at the first picture, picture A, so what kind of job and what so kind of responsibilities, duties this person has? Abdullah. Abdullah, hello.
Yes, doctor. It's
So-
work as a reception.
And what does a receptionist do?
It's when you, let's say you need to go to the hospital and asking for something, you can go to the reception and
Mhm.
say what you want to know.
Okay, the receptionist can help the patients. What else does a receptionist do? Just yes, get the information from the patient, some personal information. Yes.
Yes,
Register. Okay.
she receiving the patient and tell them the information about if they come to the hospital for that, for this time.
Mhm. Okay. Good. Well, Abdel Rahman. Hello, are you here? Absent. Aun, please. Aun.
Yes, doctor.
So picture B, what kind of job is it?
Yes. It's a health visitor
Mhm. And
or
what does it mean?
general practitioner.
Look, picture B, you are right. This is health visitor, yes? What are responsibilities of health visitors? What do they do?
They give advice to
Mhm.
the patient that how he change his like his life system
Mhm.
or lifestyle. How to you understand it?
Yes, I do understand. Well, I mean that they visit the patients outside the clinic, outside the hospital, yes? Those patients
Yes.
who can't move to the hospital. Okay, and so the next picture, picture C now, Ibrahim.
Yes, it's a GP,
Mhm.
general practitioner.
Practitioner. Mhm. What does he do? What are,
What doctor?
what are his responsibilities of a general practitioner? Where does he work? Does he work in a hospital or outside the hospital? Where?
It's a family doctor.
Hmm?
It's a family doctor. GP treat all common medical conditions and refer patients to the hospitals and other medical services.
Okay, okay. So and so the next is for Roa D, picture D. What kind of job is it? Roa? Roa, hello? Okay, Rola?
It's a midwife, so she examine and monitor the pregnant women, and she also assists them, and she monitor the baby within the pregnancy, and she also identify her risk pregnancy, and she help the women give birth also.
Exactly. All right. Thank you. And so there are 3 more pictures and 3 more jobs here. Yara, what can you say?
Doctor,
Just
sorry,
tell us about
the internet connection is very bad.
Sorry,
The internet connection is very bad.
is it Yara?
I didn't answer the. لا,
Roa.
sorry, no, I am Roa.
Roa, I see. Yes, Roa, can you comment on this slide?
picture number, picture E.
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah, it is district nurse.
Mhm.
The job, it is going to the patient in homes, like older patient, and I think to provide care to housebound patients by performing regular home visit. And these visits may occur once a day or multiple times, depending on the level of care required by a patient.
Okay, that's very expert definition. Well, and thank you. Yara, please, picture F is for you.
Yes.
Mhm,
F, I guess it's practice manager.
mhm. What else?
Yes, and the practice manager is actually aspects of a medical office, and such as hearing the training new staff members, and managers also make sure that all of the legal obligation for the medical office are met. And what else?
Okay, yes, okay. Just to thank you, good. And Bakhtabar, the last picture, G, as we can see.
Okay.
Mhm.
She is the practice nurse, and the job is practice nurse is they work in the practitioner surgeries, and also they provide the nursing care, treatment, and also health education.
Okay, good definition. I mean, they help general practitioners, right? Well, and so there are some questions here. Maybe we can deal with these questions after the break because it should take some time. So yes, there is only 1 minute left. Well,